For number 1, we're finding the x and y intercepts of our equation, negative 6x minus 8y equals 24. Notice that this equation is in standard form. Which means that this equation is in our form ax plus by equals c. We want to find the x and y intercepts of this equation. So we're going to think back about our x and y axis. Our y-axis is our vertical axis up and down. Our x-axis is our horizontal axis, side to side. And we want to find our x and y intercepts. As a reminder, if we were to find an x-intercept, it lies on the x-axis. If we're to find our y-intercept, it lies on the y-axis. Now, what's so special about these points? Well, if I have an x-intercept on my x-axis, that means it's going to lie along my horizontal line. What's important about my horizontal line is anywhere on my x-axis, if I have a point, if I were to name that ordered pair, I would go to the left or right some number, and then I'd take a look at my y's, and I wouldn't go either up or down, so y must be 0. Similarly, my y-intercept lies along my y-axis. That's along my vertical line here. And any point on this vertical line is going to be a point. I don't go left or right, so x must be 0. And then I have to either go up or down. So this train of thought helps me solve for my x and y intercepts. It doesn't matter which one we solve for first, as long as we solve for both of them. Let's find our x-intercept first. What do we know about our x-intercept? Well, we know about the point. My point, I'm finding x while y is equal to 0. So I'm going to set y equal to 0 to find my x-intercept. We're going to start off by writing our original equation. Negative 6x minus 8y is equal to 24. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change my y and let it be 0. So I'm going to rewrite my equation, 6x minus 8. The only thing I change is my y here. I know that y is 0. And I'm rewriting the rest of my equation. Now that we have our equation, we're going to simplify just a little bit. I know that -8 times 0 gives us a 0. And I want to get x all by itself. -6x plus 0 is just 6x equals 24. And how we get x all by itself? Well, we're going to undo this multiplication of -6 times x. To undo multiplication, we're going to divide. Divide by -6 on both sides. And x is equal to a -24 divided by 6 is 4. So x equals -4. Now, if I wanted to find that x-intercept as an ordered pair, well, while our point xy for our x-intercept, looking at my input and my output, my x is -4, while my y is 0. And that is my ordered pair. So we just solved for our x-intercept. Let's try solving for our y-intercept now. Something to remember for our y-intercept. It lies along our y-axis. And what do we know about that point? Well, we know that that point, x, comma, y, well, our x is equal to 0, and we're solving for y. So we're going to set x equal to 0. So let's rewrite our original equation. So this is a brand new problem. We're going to ignore our our x-intercept while we're solving for our y-intercept. We write our original equation, -6x minus 8y equals 24. I'm going to keep my equation exactly the same, except for changing my x to 0. So what does that look like? I bring down my -6. Here is my x. I now change it to 0. And I bring down everything else. -8y equals 24. Let's simplify. -6 times 0 is just a 0. Bring down everything else. -8y equals 24. We know that 0 minus 8y is just a -8y. We are almost done here. We want to get y all by itself. So we're going to divide by -8 on both sides. So y is equal to a -3. Now, if we wanted this as an ordered pair, we know that our input and output, in this case, our x equaled 0. That was our input. And our output equals -3. So our y-intercept was 0, -3.